conspiracy fires up, and that is the subject of this evening's Talking Points memo. Writing in the Wall Street Journal today, Scott Rasmussen, perhaps the most accurate pollster in America, reported that President Obama's job approval rating has now slipped below that of President Bush back in March 2001. Now, that's to be expected. Mr. Obama inherited a terrible economic mess that will take years to correct. But Americans are not a patient people, and the president is very aggressively spending tax money, so we, the people, want to see results fast. There's no question that until the economy begins improving, the president's poll numbers will be under pressure. But now we learn that a vast left-wing conspiracy is firing up to help the president. According to excellent reporting by Politico.com, perhaps the best political website in the world, organized hard-left zealots joined together in a daily morning conference call to discuss the day's events, coordinate briefings to the liberal media, and design punishment for anyone criticizing President Obama or left-wing doctrine in general. The group is hosted by the Center for American Progress, led by John Podesta, a former Clinton advisor. The calls are often highlighted by a variety of people, including Jennifer Palmieri, another CAP official, and former CNN reporter Jackie Schechtner, now a labor spokesperson. According to Politico, the call begins at 8:45 and is called to order by Tara McGinnis, a veteran liberal activist. Politico quotes Ms. Schechtner, again a former CNN reporter, as saying the group goes after those with whom they disagree. There's a coordination in terms of exposing people who are trying to come out against reform. They've all got backgrounds and histories and past, and it's not taking long to unearth that and to unleash that, because we are all working together. Factors learned that the intimidation cabal, entities receiving information from the morning call people, include Media Matters, elements at NBC News and at the New York Times. So you can see the vast left-wing conspiracy, armed with unlimited funds and unlimited hatred, are gunning for anyone they deem a threat. This, ladies and gentlemen, is a threat to America. And the Obama administration would be wise to avoid this crew. If the new administration gets involved in this, it would be like the Nixon dirty tricks squad. Talking Points is disgusted by the rank hatred on display in the political arena. We have hammered the New York Times and NBC for their lack of standards and their corruption. And now we learn that the hatred is being very well coordinated. This is obviously a very serious situation that we will continue to investigate. And that's a memo. Now for the top story tonight, reaction to the Politico story. Joining us from Washington, Fox News analyst Karl Rove. All right off the top, what say you?
Well, first of all, I love your youthful idealism by suggesting that the Obama White House might not be connected with this. I love your idealism. Of course they're connected with this. You think
you're on the call? Do you think they're on the morning call?
No. In fact, I thought it was interesting, in Ben Smith's reporting in Politico.com, he went out of his way to say twice, quoting in one instance Jennifer Palmieri, that the White House does not participate in the phone calls. But that begs the question of, do the officials at CAP, John Podesta's operation, have conversations about these calls in advance of them or after them with members of the White House staff? And think about the juxtaposition of the timing. It's at 8:45 in the morning is when these intimidation calls take place. That's after they've had the morning staff meeting at 7:30 at the White House and time to digest it. And the question is there contact between somebody at the White House and somebody in John Podesta's operation or one of the other sponsors of this to help sort of coordinate the messaging for the day? And I would bet you a dime to a dollar that there is that kind of contact. In fact, Palmieri in the article goes out of her way to say, look, we are working closely with the White House. We're closely associated with the White House. And one of our entities, Americans United for Change, exists for the purpose of running television ads in support of the administration's policies. And she pointed to Podesta's role as head of the Obama transition.
Okay. I'm not going to argue with that, but I think that there's a big risk for President Obama.
Sure.
If he is found to be in coordination, as Richard Nixon was, with dirty tricks people. And these people they will do anything. They will smear, they will defame, they'll do anything at all they'll hack.
I thought it was.
They'll do anything.
I thought it was very interesting. The tone of the article. It was not. We exist for the purpose of advocating our ideas.
No, it's destroying.
In a debate.
Absolutely.
We're going after the people who disagree with us. And she went out of her way to then give 2 examples of where they went after people who had the temerity to have an opinion different than theirs. And that is, that's sort of vaguely fascist in its attitude.
Well, this is what happened in Watergate. This was the whole Watergate thing, that the Nixon White House used its power to go after the Nixon's enemies list and all of this. Now, I think it's too early to tie Barack Obama in with this, to be fair. His people may be involved, and will continue. Now, is there any corresponding... Go ahead.
There's one interesting question, though, which is, if he's not involved, but his people are they not listening to Barack Obama's calls to change the old style of politics
I guess
get past
not.
the, quote, pretty recriminations and
But did anybody ever believe
politics?
that? I never believed that for a second. Look, Barack Obama may want to be friends with everybody, but certainly his people are ruthless, and they're ruthless in every party. But is there any corresponding right-wing phone call, conservative phone call made in the morning, as far as you know?
No, not that I'm aware of. There are 2 groups, 2 venues, if you will. One hosted by the now deceased Paul Weyrich on Capitol Hill, and the other hosted by Grover Norquist, at which conservative organizations and think tanks and institutes and individuals can attend and talk about mutual issues. But they're held on a weekly or biweekly basis, and this is a new level of organization which shows a toughness and a discipline and a focus, and frankly, given the nature of how they explain their job, a nastiness that is very very effective in certain quarters.
Well, it's disturbing. This is not the way democracy is supposed to run. Now, Scott McClellan, your pal, accused me, you remember last year, of getting White House talking points. And was there anything like this while you were in the White House, Mr. Rove? Was Scott McClellan coordinating talking points? I mean, of course, I never received anything from you guys, and I couldn't even get a call back most of the time from you guys.
Well, every White House for decades has put out talking points to advocates and surrogates about their policies. That's to be expected. In fact, the press wants to know what your arguments are.
Why didn't you send me? Well, I never got anything from you. You guys did.
Well, you're an independent-minded guy, and they probably knew that they couldn't affect
that
you.
I would mock them.
It might have just been incompetence on the part of Scott McClellan.
No, I think he's afraid that I would mock him. All right, so every White House does send out talking points and things to people they deem to be on their side. That's not unusual. That's always happened, correct?
Sure.
Now,
well, and on the issues, you bet. In fact, with the Internet has made it easy to put those things up on the website so that people can download them themselves. You don't just need to push them out a piece of paper.
Now, in the Bush White House, did you guys ever threaten anybody that disagreed with you? Because there were legion. Did you threaten anybody?
Not that I recall, but I mean, I can tell you for darn certain we didn't go after him, as this woman boasted in the Politico piece. She boasted about how they went out and slimed a couple of people.
So you can't remember, you never threatened, or you guys out of the White House, or your acolytes, surrogates, never threatened anybody?
No, look. Did we say to people we hope that you'd be standing with us on this, or
that's encouraging positive behavior, not threatening.
Right. Exactly. Right.
So you never threatened?